a lot of kids have the ability to ride, and you need to question whether they have the judgment to make these appropriate big decisions that can be dangerous. If your child juts into traffic on one of these bikes or makes a wrong move and you're going 20 to 28 miles per hour or higher on a bicycle, the risk for getting hurt is pretty high. Welcome back to Parenting Shrink Wrap. Melissa and Sam here. And if anybody follows Sam on social media, recently she went on a little bit of a rant, maybe an unpopular opinion, but I think a very valid one about e-bikes. Sam and I live in an area where there's actually a really nice trail system that's very long. But these e-bikes have invaded every trail system, the roads, the parking lots, and almost everywhere in our area. And it's driving us bonkers.
Yeah, we are the get off my lawn girls tonight. Yeah, like this is welcome. Well, please join us in our rant. But I'm trying to keep it measured because I want to keep the kid perspective in play here. But we're going to be talking about e-bikes, and this could be an episode that you end up sharing with your kids if you're like, here, just listen to these ladies.
Like, well, and if you're like my husband, he wants an e-bike.
For himself or for your children?
For himself.
Well, that's different. That's like, I have no problem with adults managing these things.
No, but I think some parents also, the reaction is, oh, that's really cool. They are cool, right? So I don't want to take out that aspect of it. Like, it is a cool, fun toy, I guess.
Right. So, yes, they're amazing. They're fun. They also, like, I walk on those trails and I hear, and I'm like, oh, am I going to get run over by a 12-year-old? And boom, and I usually almost do. Like, that's because they don't know how to steer far enough away and they don't know to slow down around pedestrians. And yeah.
And some of them go so fast. It's like they're just on motorcycles. Like, some of them go really fast. The trail system by Sam and I has a 15 mile per hour speed limit. And that's even if you're on a regular pedal bike. You're not supposed to go faster than 15. You're not supposed to
buzz the pedestrians. I could feel like my arm hairs getting winded. Yeah, like...
So we want to have an actual conversation about this.
Yes, let's have a conversation about e-bikes. Even though it may be apparent where we stand on the matter from the get-go, we're going to have level-headed conversation. Because... this has been the summer of the e-bike. The e-bike era is upon us. And I think sometimes when an era is upon us, we think we just have to go with it. And that's just because a manufacturer invents something doesn't mean we have to endorse it or embrace it or buy it for our kids simply because it exists and a lot of people are doing it. So let's talk.
I'm resisting that urge for other things for my kids, like the current Nido craze too that's going on.
I don't know what that is,
but I refuse to pay $20 for a squishy thing.
Oh, okay. So an e-bike is different. Also, it's super expensive. Like an e-bike is no cheap investment, right?
So Sam, when we were growing up, and you're a little bit older than I am, this wasn't like a consideration. You had a bicycle.
No. I had a bicycle. I rode it all over the place too. It was my source of transportation, and also a source of movement. You know, like I would show up sweaty at my friends' houses because I rode my bike there.
But on an e-bike, depending on the type of bike, you might be pedaling or pedal assist, but you're also not having to put in the same amount of physical effort as you would on a regular bike.
That's something that worries me about, and who knows where this is going. This is like a back of my mind worry, not the top of mind worry. But I think of other inventions that came our way and we didn't realize what some of the long-term consequences would be until we started facing them as a society. And I wonder if the advent of e-bikes is going to be even less movement for our children.
Which is not good.
Right. And I mean, we already have a crisis of gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you don't move your body. What's it called when you have
sedentary? You're sedentary.
Yes.
So,
Perimenopausal brain took over right there. Yeah.
but I also think, and this relates to some other episodes that we've done, and when we've talked about executive functioning, child development hasn't changed. We might have this great new technology and this
Right.
great new e-bike out there, but the executive functioning of a middle schooler hasn't changed just because we have these fancy new e-bikes. So their decision making and responsibility and impulse control and motor planning and recognizing danger and acknowledging road rules
Yeah.
hasn't changed.
Also, I think something, agree. And one of the things that we know, there's research around adolescent risk taking. And we know that when kids are in packs of friends, their tolerance for risk taking goes up because of this audience factor. And there are studies to show this, but the studies are around, you put a kid this was done by Larry Steinberg out of Temple University, and you put an adolescent in a driving simulator, and without a perceived audience, the kid's risk taking it's not tons greater than an adult. But when you bring peers in and you have the peers say into a microphone, "Hey, we're watching you, buddy. Good luck in the simulator." So the kid knows there are peers watching. He's much more likely to push it at yellow lights, to take driving risks in a simulator. So he's more accident prone. That's in a driving simulator. So we know that this extends into real life, which is why your kid can be like, "I know what to do. I know what the right decision was, and I didn't make it." And the reason was because friends were around. And so these e-bikes are a major, certainly kids can get from A to B by themselves, but they're riding in packs, which means they're susceptible to that. I say, when you're
bad kids or purposely reckless, this is just
generally
psychology.
Generally,
this is psychology.
They're just their friends are around, and if someone makes a choice to take a risk, then the rest are gonna be like, "Well, I guess, okay, I have more tolerance for it in a crowd." And then we may look at that and say, "This is the get off my lawn ladies," you kids today. But I have seen kids out my window pop a wheelie in the middle of my street, which I can see from where I'm sitting right here, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that kid's gonna fly over backwards!" I'm afraid he's gonna flip off the end of his bike and crack his back of his head. And
they don't have helmets on either, which drives me nuts.
This young man did when I saw this, but he was driving down the road in the middle of the road, popping a wheelie. Can you see when you're doing that? Can you control the bike well? I don't understand how steering works when you're popping a wheelie if you steer from the front of the bike, right? Anyway, there's all sorts of risk factors. Speaking of bikes, news to me came in the form of a flyer that my neighbor left me after that e-bike rant.
And this was information to me too. I didn't know this stuff either.
That our local police were distributing on one of our trails today, and I want to explain the difference between the types of e-bikes, because you may think you're buying your kid an e-bike, but it really might be an e-moto, apparently. So 3 types of e-bikes.
So
go. You
multiple
start.
Classes here. There's multiple classes here.
Yeah.
So class 1 is a bike providing pedal assistance only. The motor works only while you're pedaling. So you are basically the fuel for the motor, and it stops assisting at 20 miles an hour, which is still fairly a decent speed.
That's a good clip, right?
So safest starting point, because you still have to pedal. So you still have to ride the bike to get it to move.
Yeah.
So these don't go on their own.
And
they stop at 20 miles an hour.
Class 2 do go on their own, throttle assisted, so you can get it up to 20 miles an hour without pedaling, which means
so you're just sitting there, running. That's, to me, riding a moped. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's more like driving, right. And so that means that, I don't know, with pedaling, you may have more of a sense of speeding up or slowing down. I don't know. It seems like throttle assisted.
But you have the handling of the bike. Then if you don't have to pedal, have you really mastered riding a bike? because the whole riding a bike involves coordination of all of these pieces together.
Okay. And then so that's class 2, and class 3 is pedal assist but up to 28 miles an hour. So
That's fast.
if you have
That's fast.
a bike that goes above 28 miles an hour, it's no longer an e-bike, it's considered an electric motorcycle or a moped, e-moto. And those, at least in Maryland, and you'll have to check your states, are only allowed to be ridden on roads with a valid license, registration, and insurance. And helmets are required. So if a bike goes above 28 miles an hour, you have to have a license to drive it.
Which
And
means these middle schoolers are not allowed to drive them.
Yeah. Which is, I'm sure, why the police were on the path handing these flyers out today.
Sam, is the speed limit on your street 25 or 30? Because
25.
the street I think my street is 25 too. So these bikes are going faster than the speed limit on our residential streets.
Yes. So, if that doesn't give you pause, and, you know, I don't think, like, parents who have invested in this for their kids did so in any kind of, like, reckless way, you know? So, I certainly don't want to shame parents who went down this route thinking that this was fine and harmless, and now they may have to walk this back, or maybe they don't feel like they have to walk this back. Maybe they're like, oh, lady, get with the times, you know? Which is, by the way, one of the comments I got after my rant. Someone said, get with the times or they'll pass you by. And I was like, they're passing me by on my walk and they're scaring the crap out of me. And this may be, like, that may be the truth on some matters, but I feel like this issue is kind of like just because a manufacturer makes something appealing and that kids catch on as a trend doesn't mean we should invest in that technology. And if we haven't learned anything from the proliferation of iPhones and now the research that's like, just to like see if we can delay giving it to our kids so that they can have a tech-free play-based childhood, we know that now. We know we shouldn't have endorsed that cool, fun technology. I just gotta wonder if we're going the same direction. Plus,
did you see injuries. Toy Story 5? Did you see Toy Story 5?
No, because I'm old and the times are passing me by.
Well, for all the parents out there who have seen Toy Story 5, it's the same thing. The whole premise of the movie is that all these young kids are playing on tablets and not socializing face-to-face. They're socializing through online games.
Oh.
And the negative potential impact about how to make friends.
Okay, well, so that's
another example.
Disney Pixar's making a point, and now I just want to also point out that if I'm a middle school or a young high schooler, I probably would have wanted one of these.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's cool. It would have allowed greater range of freedom, which I was like always looking for. You know, I wanted the independence. If other kids who you admire have them, it allows you to kind of connect with them in a way, right?
My middle schooler wants one, Sam.
And parents may say,
totally wants one.
Yeah, and if you live in a neighborhood where there's like fun stuff or things that a kid might find appealing to do, but it involves you having to drive them to that thing, and an e-bike would reduce your trips to whatever schlepping destination there is, you might be tempted to say, oh, you know, like this is gonna get my kid out of the house more. And God, that's a pretty great priority to want your kid out of the house, right? I'm not gonna knock that. And so you have to balance what's the right answer here, because kids should get out of the house.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I'm a middle schooler, there's a lot about this technology that I would be magnetized to. So I don't want to minimize that.
Well, my middle schooler, who is actually on a mountain biking team and can avidly ride a bicycle, currently does have an e-scooter. We haven't done the e-bike yet.
Right. Well, and those go max 20 miles an hour. And even those are a little iffy, but there's not, you can't take the e-scooter as many places. I don't know.
It's harder.
They
can't go on the road. The class 3, you're on the road.
Yeah. It's a little more rickety to ride. Yes. So that's good that you can't be on a scooter on the road. I think that's fine. And again, I don't have a problem with e-bikes themselves. Your husband wants one, more power to him, or less power if that's what he wants, right? But yes, he's an adult.
He likes the assisted transportation aspect of it.
Yeah, and there's some people also who are like, there's some environmental piece to it, like get from A to Z without
driving a car.
gas. Exactly. So, um, the problem I have is the behavior that happens with the e-bikes, and that behavior is totally age appropriate for the kids who are that problematic behavior is totally age appropriate for the kids. So instead of saying to the kids, like, I'm going to give you an e-bike, but you have to behave like you're 10 years older than you are, which they cannot do.
They're not capable yet.
Yeah, it's incumbent upon us to not give them the e-bike. Like that's, and to be able to say no. And that's hard.
And if you do give one, you've got to teach your kid some basic principles first. Like,
right.
I don't think a kid should be on an e-bike without a helmet. Like, to me, there's no excuse not to wear a helmet. My husband doesn't get on a bike without a helmet. I don't get on a bike without a helmet on.
The one time I was grounded in high school was because I rode my bike to a friend's house without a helmet. I did so many worse things, but that was the one that that's the hill my parents chose to die on. Maybe because they were like, you could have died on a hill. Who knows? Yeah. But that was, they were angry at me for that one. Yeah. And so just like anything that a kid needs, if you're going to go this route, and obviously we're not in favor, but if the horse is out of the barn, or whatever that expression is, or you disagree with us, then let us give you some things to think about, right? Ask preemptive questions of your kid, like give them practice. Well, what would you do here? Or did you see that e-bike go by? How did that rider handle the situation? How would you have handled it? Like give them anticipatory questions or anticipatory scenarios that they could face. What do you do if your friends dare you for a race? What if everyone decides not to wear helmets? What are you going to do? What if
your friend wants to jump on the back of your bike and you don't have a 2-seater bike?
Yes. Okay. Well, so that should be a rule too, by the way. No friends on the bike.
I think no friends on the bike. I think they have to understand the basic traffic laws. Like the trail that Sam and I are referring to has stop signs on it at crosswalks and stuff. So like you have to stop at the stop sign and look both ways.
No phones while riding. That's another one.
No phones.
Right? Respect your neighborhood. But this is really about, like, obviously I am totally in favor of giving kids increasing independence that's commensurate with their level of maturity. We want kids to explore this world. We want them to have the confidence to butt up against the world. You want them to be
physically active and get outside and get off the technology.
Yep. We want all of that. And this just comes with some risks, some significant risks. And I just wonder if we're going to have to walk this back.
Point out Sam's butt end there. So,
well, it's because I always advocate never say but. You know, if you're a parent, just eliminate it.
I thought you in it.
So I switched to and. Yeah.
So a lot of kids have the ability to ride, and you need to question whether they have the judgment to make these appropriate big decisions that can be dangerous. Unfortunately, like if your child juts into traffic on one of these bikes or makes a wrong move and you're going 20 to 28 miles per hour or higher on a bicycle, the risk for getting hurt is pretty high.
I just had a mom tell me about a peer in her kid's grade was riding an e-bike and got into an accident, fell off, and like skinned up her face and lost teeth.
Ow.
Skinned her face.
Painful and awful.
Awful. This is a middle schooler. Like, horrible, right? So we cannot eliminate every risk. And we cannot prevent technology from coming out of the woodwork that is just new and exciting and that manufacturers are trying something. So we must prepare our kids for the risk, think through the consequences, and then help them make good choices when we're not there. And if your kids do not demonstrate the ability to do so, it's probably not wise for you to give them permission to enter an environment where the risk is too high for their decision-making level.
Just a basic parenting principle that extends way beyond e-bikes, Sam. We can apply that to lots of things.
Yeah. So do we leave it at that? That's our e-bike rant.
All
Voila.
done.
The age of the e-bike era is upon us, and that's what we think about it. If you've listened, you know we love you. You know we love your kids, and we thank you for raising the next generation of world changers, even if that means saying no to their request for an e-bike. More next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Next episode.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride called parenthood here at Parenting Shrink Wrapped. We hope today's episode gave you some useful tools and maybe even a few laughs to help you navigate the twists and turns of raising teens and kids.
Remember, parenting is a journey, not a destination. And no matter where you are on the road, we're here to help you stay on course. Whether it's monumental meltdowns, teenage turmoil, or just the everyday chaos, you don't have to travel this path alone.
So until next time, keep your seatbelt fastened, your sense of humor intact, and your eyes on the road. We'll be back soon with more compassionate conversations and practical strategies to support you and your family.
Don't forget to subscribe to Parenting Shrink Wrapped wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you've enjoyed today's show, we'd love it if you'd leave us a review and share it with a friend.
If you have suggestions for topics you'd like to see us cover in the future, feel free to send us an email at parentingshrinkwrapped@gmail.com.
Until we meet again, take care and enjoy the ride.